Hi, my name is Lexi Ball. I'm here with Logan, and he is a graduate of Hartford. Logan, can you state what sport you played and how old you are?
I was a college lacrosse player at the University of Hartford, and sorry, what was the second part?
How old are you?
And I'm 21.
Awesome. So I'm basically gonna talk to you about mental toughness and resiliency. And so basically, resiliency has 12 sort of aspects, and we're gonna touch upon kind of all 12. So the first one is having an unshakable self-belief in your ability to achieve competition goals. So how have you been able to believe in yourself and not have anyone tell you otherwise?
Going through my time at Hartford, I definitely had obviously, there's like some teammates that, like, if people play the same position as you, they want you to succeed, but obviously they don't want you to succeed like more than them. And then obviously there's been coaches that have like doubted me and my athletic ability, so just proving like naysayers wrong, especially like other people from like back in high school saying that like, oh, I'd never make it to the Division 1 level, and then just, I don't know, trying to prove people wrong left and right. And just that was definitely one of the big things at Hartford when my first year there, like, we had a new defensive coordinator, and myself transferring from a junior college, he didn't really believe that I would be able to pick up the systems right away. And that was just one of my big things, trying to prove him wrong, just learning the most that I can in the shortest amount of time.
That's awesome. Now, another part of this resiliency that I believe you definitely have is bouncing back from performance setbacks. So, have you ever had anything that has set you back physically, emotionally, mentally to almost hinder your ability to play at your highest potential?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like being a college athlete or any type of athlete in general, we all face these type of struggles that somebody might have like a bad game or something. Coach might not play you as much as you expected, and you just got to try to bounce back. I would say there was a specific example in my senior year where I was one of the starting defensemen at the time, and we had a scrimmage against Towson that was played at Yale, and I was playing well. Then I got beat down the alley for 1 goal, and my coach he ended up pulling me for the rest of the game, including like the rest of I didn't play very much that game, and then even in our second scrimmage, I didn't play very much due to that one mistake. So it was definitely a setback and really hindered my like really tested my mental toughness, see how I would react to that. And it just made me, at first, obviously, I'm like, oh, well, what do I do now? Coach just isn't going to play me. But I had to try to fight through that, meet with coach the next week, and just try to figure out what I did wrong and try to fix it for the next time before we started our regular season.
That's an awesome way to push through those boundaries and to really get those setbacks put behind you. Another part of this whole resiliency is having this unshakable belief that you have unique qualities and abilities that make you have an edge over your opponents. And what kind of qualities you feel you have an edge over your opponents?
I feel like I definitely excel in my personal athletic ability overall, and I like to believe that I understand the game of lacrosse in my specific case. I felt like I had a very good understanding of the game on like what plays like should happen. So I'm like almost like a chess player, thinking like one, 2 steps ahead of the opposing offense, and then just my athletic ability and myself being a taller individual, I can be very rangy with myself, maybe take a little bit more chances on trying to pick off passes and those type of things, and just I don't know, just believing that I'm one of the best players on the field every time I take the field, and whoever I'm playing, that I'm better than them.
So, a strong mindset and a good IQ. That's awesome. So, touching upon this resiliency once again, having an unshakable desire and internalized motives to succeed. What has motivated you to be the best you can be? Who has inspired you to be who you are and what you want to do? What gets you out of bed in the morning?
Pretty much a lot of both my parents are two of the main people that have definitely driven me to who I am today, especially both of them playing Division One athletics. My mother playing at Syracuse University, and my father playing. She played field hockey at Syracuse, and my father played football at Utah State University. So definitely, just I don't know, internally, they never really set like go Division One expectations, but like internally, I think I just had like this drive to just want to be the same and want to be at that same level as them. And then also just growing up, just loving sports my whole life and just always seeing like the Ohio States, the USCs on TV and just wanting to be at that level. So just, and then also just going throughout high school, like not a lot of my like personal best friends went very far in athletics. I mean, a few played at the Division III, Division II level, but just knowing other people on like my summer team were going like big Division I schools for lacrosse, and just that little friendly competition of both of like me and my friends being able to go play Division I, that was definitely another drive, and just wanting to be at the highest possible level of my sport.
That,
Just the overall drive and helping me get there.
that's awesome. So there's this quote that we have mentioned in class, and it's by Henry Ford, and it's, if you believe you can or you think you can't, you're probably right. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that comes back to just your self belief and self motivation, because I feel like everything does happen for a reason, and you just have to be successful. You have to believe that you will be successful, because if you think that you're gonna win, that'll force yourself to put in the preparation, watch the film, do the extra workouts in order for yourself to win. But if you don't believe that you're actually going to win, there's no possible way you can be successful.
Very true, very true. Um, how do you, in when you, since you are retired, but even now, I mean, we have tasks we have to face every day, but in a practice setting, how did you stay focused on the task at hand and in the face of game specific sort of situations?
I would just say, just always in the back of my mind, reminding myself like what I'm playing for. In obviously in high school, you're playing for like your hometown. They always say play for the name on the front of the jersey, not the back. And then in college, you're representing yourself, your family from back home, and then you're also representing the university like as a whole. And you always just want to play with class and play to the best of your ability to make your university, yourself, your family, all your friends just proud of you, and that you're shedding the right light on all those people and organizations just overall, and just always knowing that that's the most important thing, and success will come along with that.
So true, so true. How could you push back the boundaries of physical and emotional pain while you're trying to maintain the perfect technique of playing good defense or great offense under distress of the intense training that Division One athletes definitely encounter?
Yeah, definitely. It's very intense at the Division I level, and I feel like that physical and emotional pain, it never really hits you as you're playing, because I don't know, in the midst of a game, I feel like people are always running on adrenaline. Like I've played with a separated shoulder before, and it felt completely fine while I was playing. Just it's when you come off the field, the adrenaline sort of slows down, and that's when you really feel the pain. And you just have to, depending on the circumstances and the severity of the possible injury or the obstacle you're facing, you just have to dig down deep and, if possible, obviously try to fight through it, unless it's like a serious type of injury. But anything mentally, you just have to just put a mental block on it until at a later date where you can actually deal with it. and you just have to really just push through it for the time being.
Yeah, that's totally true. I 100% agree with everything you just said. Going back to unexpected and uncontrollable events, how do you get past that in a game? You're down. How do you get past the uncontrollables of a ref making a bad call? How do you get past that?
You really, it sounds kind of silly, but you really just get past it. Like you just let it go. The things that you can't control are out of your hands. So, like if a bad call happens, a little mishap on a play, or you get beat for a goal. I mean, some of that is controllable, but the majority of things that are uncontrollable, you just have to move past it and say, I'll just make the next play and just hope that that unfortunate event doesn't happen again.
Yes, I completely agree. Last couple things, and I'll stop wasting your time. But they before a game, there's a lot of anxiety that athletes experience. How did you overcome that sort of pre-game anxiety, those pre-game butterflies?
Personally, I can only really account for, I'd say, 3 or 4 occasions throughout my athletic career where I like seriously had butterflies. But those like few times, I'm a very intense person, especially like right before games. I do a lot of like I got a lot of my music in. I'm constantly walking around. I'm very like jittery. Like I can't sit still. And then when it comes to like warm up, I'm a big like a lot of yelling. Yelling helps me get rid of a lot of butterflies, kind of like when you're on a roller coaster. But yeah, I don't know, just listening to my music, like getting in my vibe, like just vibing out to the music and just chilling, just trying to get relaxed before the game, relaxed and focused.
I love that. I think a lot of athletes can relate to that as well. Lastly, how can you clearly life on the field is very different from life off the field as an athlete. How do you how are you able to switch your mindset of being okay, I'm an athlete right now, but now I'm just a normal college kid, I'm just a normal ass student? How do you switch those mentalities so easily, separate the two, if you will?
I actually kind of feel like you don't have to and necessarily shouldn't switch the mentality. I feel like as a college athlete, like you always have that drive to win the next play, like be successful on every game, every play. And then I just feel like you have to have the same mindset when you're a student and when you're in the real world. It's just obviously not plays and like, you're not scoring goals. You're getting A's on papers. You're doing your homework, getting 100 on that test, and even like meeting people. It's just like the next play is going for an interview. That's the game. So you have to prepare yourself by practicing interviewing questions, making sure your resume looks good, all that type of thing. So just I would say you never really switch over. There's not really a switch between all right, I'm an athlete now, just a regular person. I feel like you're always an athlete. Just no matter you're an athlete until you die. Is like essentially what I'm saying. You just have to have that athlete mentality in every day what you do to be it's definitely helps people be successful. I feel like that's a big reason why a lot of companies nowadays they seek out athletes that have graduated for their businesses because those type of people have the mindset to number one work in like a team environment. They get goals done. They strive for excellence no matter what. Instead of, no offense to the people that aren't college athletes, obviously they can have those qualities as well, but it just comes much more naturally to someone that was an athlete in college or that has been an athlete their entire life. They just have those skills and that mindset just drilled inside of them.
Yeah, they get it. Well, thank you so much for your time, Logan. I absolutely appreciate it, and I wish you the best of luck with the rest of your careers.
Of course, thank you very much. Had a good time.
Thanks.